Welcome to How Modern Marketing Works. My name is Sylvia Jensen, and I head up marketing for Eloqua in Europe. So I'm guessing, and I am going to ask you guys a bunch of questions just to kind of try and understand who you all are and why you might be here. I'm guessing if you're here today, it's to learn how to become better marketers. You're looking for tips, for tricks, for best practices, and trying to evaluate all the different technologies that are out here today. And there are a lot of technologies out there right now for marketers. So I know it's a real effort to kind of keep on top of that and know what's working, what's not working, and what might be best for your company. So this presentation, the title's a little general, so I'm actually really glad you guys are here because it doesn't explicitly say social, and this is the social theater. So I am going to talk a little bit about social, but it's really about the shifts that are happening in marketing right now and what marketers need to know to stay relevant and stay modern marketing, to become modern marketers. So what does it mean to be a modern marketer in today's digital world? So, we often say, welcome to the age of the empowered consumer. And so my first question for you guys is, how many of you are doing B2C marketing? Just a few B2C marketers? Okay. And B2B marketing? Okay, quite a few more. All right. So this trend, the empowered consumer, really started, I'm not going to say it's revolutionary, but with the internet, right? And it started in the consumer world, and it's made its way through to the B2B world. So, buyers, consumers have started researching products online, and you go into any retail shop, and you know what you're going to buy before you even talk to a salesperson, right? You've researched online, you've talked to your friends, you've looked on the internet, you know everything. And in the B2B world, we're seeing that same shift. Today's consumer or B2B buyer is very well educated on your products and services and your competitors' products and services way before they ever talk to salespeople. And they're engaging with you and your company across more channels than ever before. And this engagement with you in a digital way has created a lot of data. We talk about the explosion of data, and that data is great. It gives you a lot of information about who your buyers are and what they're doing that you can use to make marketing decisions. But this change to marketing, or to the way that people buy and the way that they research online, has really changed the role of marketing. You've got to go out there and be in a show like this, for instance, and research all the different technologies that can help you be great marketers. But you can't leave it to the techies. Traditionally, technology, the IT department. In today's world, there's an explosion of marketing technology that marketers need to know about, because you need to know what is the right technology to do what you need to do. So don't leave it to the techies. And the reason that you're having to find these new technologies and better ways of doing things is because expectations for marketing are really growing. Right now, we're seeing budget cuts or no growth or very low growth budgets, so you're having to do more with less. You're having to learn new things like social media, on-the-job training, trying to understand how it works and how it can help your business so you don't get left behind as things change so quickly. And your leadership is judging you more and more on the ROI of the marketing you are doing. What is the return on investment of the marketing that you're spending? And really, marketing's becoming responsible for sales. The buying cycle has changed in such a way that no longer is marketing just getting a bunch of leads or responses from white papers, let's say, or gathering people at a trade show and handing those responses off to sales. Marketing is actually getting involved much deeper into the sales funnel and taking those contacts, nurturing them until they're ready to speak to sales. So that whole online self-education that buyers are doing, marketing is driving and creating journeys for buyers. So by the time they speak to sales, they know everything about your products and services because marketing has educated them to a point where they're ready to speak to sales. So marketing is becoming more and more responsible for sales. But only marketers who are customer obsessed and adapt to consumers' changing behavior in real time will succeed. So yes, marketing is responsible more and more for the sales cycle, but we as marketers have to really be customer obsessed and understand who our ideal customer is, where they're interacting with us, what information takes them on that next step of their buying journey so that we know what content to provide them with on each step of their buying journey. So we really have to think about the customer, the ideal customer, and educating them. So at Eloqua, we did a piece of research about 6 months ago, 250 B2B marketers in North America and 200 B2B marketers in the UK, and we asked them, in this rapidly changing digital world, what does it mean to you to be a modern marketer? And the study showed that there were 5 tenets, what we're calling 5 tenets of modern marketing, and they're targeting, engagement, conversion, analysis, and the technology that enables us to track people in the modern world. So we're going to go through the 5 tenets. So the first tenet is knowing who your customer is. Very basic to traditional marketing, really nothing new here. In fact, Peter Drucker, many, many years ago, said the aim of marketing is to know and understand the customer so well that the products or services fit him or her and sells itself. So again, in the ideal world, the customer finds what they need and it just sells itself. You don't even have to sell it. So you've got to really know who your customer is to be able to target them. So how did we used to do it? What's the traditional way? Salesperson's Rolodex. In the traditional world, the salesperson controlled the buying cycle. They had their Rolodex, they did a lot of cold calling, they found opportunities on their own, and they educated that buyer all the way to close. But then we went online. The whole world went online, and salespeople had to go online too. And then we see the advent of CRM systems, where salespeople had to enter all of their contacts into a system where the whole company could see who they were talking to and where those people were in their buying journey. And then our customers went online. And when our customers went online, they started leaving what we call a digital trail of interactions with the customers. We call that digital body language. That digital body language gives you clues, buying signals of whether a prospect, at what phase they are in the buying cycle, whether they're just kind of at the top of the funnel and educating themselves, or if they're sending you some real buying signals and you have to really get sales on them to try and close them. So this digital body language is really important. And with a system like Eloqua, you can actually track all that digital body language. So how do we know what this digital body language is telling us? So how do we target our customers? Back to the tenant. So this is Stephanie. And in the traditional world, and maybe how you're buying data now, you have her demographic information. You know she's a mom, you know her age, her income, and where she lives. And that's kind of all you know. And as a marketer, you use her demographics to send them messages. But in the digital world, you can actually read her digital body language, as I was just mentioning. Not only do you know who she is demographically, but now you know how she's interacting with you. You can know when she's visiting your website, you know what white papers she's downloading, what topics she's interested in, which emails she's opening. She's giving you a lot of clues. And at Eloqua, so we're basically a marketing automation platform. So I'll show you in a minute. We allow you to automate your buyers' journeys. And one of the new and more exciting parts of our business now is being able to integrate social media into that buying journey. So again, through social listening, buyers are telling you what they're interested in and they're engaging with you. And you can actually take that information and include it into your buyer's profile to really have a very complete picture of who your buyer is and what stage they are in the buying journey. So social, really listening and integrating that into the buyer's profile, as well as all the other digital body language that they're giving you, which emails are opening, what white papers they're downloading, and when they're visiting your website. But the point is to kind of really know who your buyer is, to be customer obsessed, and really know what they're doing and where they are so you can send them the right message. So that's the first tenet, knowing who your buyer is, what they're saying, through which mediums. The next piece is engagement. How do we engage with them? So in the traditional world, marketing started making journeys. And we started writing campaigns and journey paths, and we did this in a very manual way. You sent one email, did they respond or not? You might send them 2 different emails. And then you might start to integrate some other channels. So we used to do it in a very manual way. But now, and this is a screenshot of Eloqua, this is basically the core of what we do is we automate those journeys. So you don't have to manually wait for a response. You can build a whole path of, this is my target segment. We start off with the target segments of who I'm targeting. Maybe people who have visited our website and looked at one specific product. And we can say, we're going to send them an email with an offer. And if they respond, then send them this other offer. And if they don't respond, wait 5 days, resend the email with another subject line, and send them a slightly different offer. So you can start to automate a lot of these journeys that make sense to us as marketers and manually take a lot of time and effort. So in the digital world, in the modern world, we can automate these journeys, and we can also start to integrate other touch points. So not just email, but you can start sending SMSs as part of your campaign. You can drop a print piece in the middle of your campaign. You can start to do all sorts of different things. And in fact, we have what we call the ElEquip Cloud, which is we have an integration with a lot of third-party marketing technology that allows you to take the data and the interactions that your prospects are having with those other technologies and feed them into your Eloqua database. So Eloqua is your marketing database. It's free, we don't charge anything, but so basically products like, let's say, WebEx or a GoToWebinar. I mean, how many of you are doing webinars now as part of your marketing mix? One. Okay, I'm surprised. There aren't more people doing webinars. But if you are using another tool, let's say like a webinar tool, you're sending emails from one platform, let's say, and then you're doing webinars on another platform. And if you want to send an invitation or a follow-up email, you're taking spreadsheets from one platform to send to your through your email platform, and you're having to manually take these spreadsheets back and forth across your marketing technologies. Does this sound familiar to anyone? Lots of spreadsheets back and forth. So with the ElEquip Cloud is we have an integration to a WebEx and to lots of other technologies where the information of someone having seen a webinar on WebEx flows seamlessly into Eloqua, and the emails can be triggered as part of a campaign. So no longer do you have to kind of import and export spreadsheets all over the place and maybe make some mistakes as you're importing things. So the ElEquip Cloud allows you to take lots of other technologies that are out there that maybe you haven't considered yet, and maybe ones you're already using, and connecting them to make you a better marketer and to be able to communicate with your prospects in a better, more timely way. Because the whole objective is to create a one-to-one relationship with your customer, sending them the right information at the right time, no matter where they are in the buying journey. And as modern marketers, I know you guys have probably heard of the explosion of content marketing, because what drives all of these journeys is content. Being able to educate your buyer at the next stage of their journey, you need the content, the right information to give them for where they are in their stage based on who they are. So recently, Oracle acquired a company called Compendium, which is now a part of Oracle Eloqua, which is a content management system to help you do exactly this. So actually, Compendium's a good example. They were already an integration into our app cloud, so the information from Compendium flowed seamlessly into Eloqua for free. It's not something we charge for, but gave you much richer data, much richer profile data about your buyers. And now the integration will be even tighter as part of Oracle Eloqua. But there are other content management systems too that we also connect with, because the idea is that Eloqua is one platform where what you use for marketing is your database, and you can connect all sorts of technologies. So the third tenet of modern marketing is conversion. So we know who they are, we've engaged with them through lots of different channels and with very interesting content. How do we get them to actually convert into an opportunity? So the key to conversion is sales and marketing alignment. And as we all know and have probably experienced, and the rumors are out there that sales and marketing don't always get along. Right? Marketing creates a bunch of leads for sales. Sales says, these are a bunch of rubbish leads, I'm not going to follow them up. Marketing says, but I gave you all these great leads, why aren't you following them up? Sales and marketing alignment is always challenging at most companies, but it's a really important part. And part of the challenge with sales and marketing is we're speaking two different languages. Marketing's talking about leads, and sales is talking about opportunities or closed business. And there's a big gap in between. So how do we kind of bridge that gap? One of the ways that you can bridge that gap is with lead scoring. And lead scoring is made up of two parts. One, who your buyers are, kind of that demographic information we had about Stephanie early on. And the other piece is how they're engaging with you. What actions are they taking that kind of tell you that Stephanie's interested in hearing from somebody from sales? With these two things, who your ideal buyer is and what they're doing with you, you can score leads. And with lead scoring, you can get the hottest leads into the hands of sales very quickly through the integration of marketing automation, the stuff you're sending out and how you're capturing the digital body language, and your CRM system. So sales follows up on only those prospects that are sending you buying signals, which are capturing through digital body language, and the rest of the leads you nurture until they're ready to buy. Because just because somebody downloads a white paper, a case study, doesn't mean they're ready to buy from you. They're somewhere on their journey, and you kind of need to know where they are in their journey based on how many interactions and what pieces of content they're downloading. But lead scoring is a really good way to bridge that gap with sales by giving just the hottest leads to sales to follow up, and then marketing nurtures the rest until they're ready to talk to sales. Another way that you can bridge that gap between sales and marketing is by enabling sales. I heard a statistic not too long ago that 40% of a salesperson's time is spent gathering content to send to their prospects. With Eloqua Engage, you can actually create templates for sales to use and send out to their prospects. So they're already pre-branded, pre-packaged. It automatically adds their signature, and it looks like it comes from the salesperson. But you save that salesperson a lot of time and effort putting all those emails together, and you as the marketer actually control the branding and the messaging. So it's a great combination of sales and marketing alignment that helps both sides. The fourth tenet is analysis. And really we're being asked to be, and because we have the data, we can be much more data-driven than ever before. So 3 out of 4 CEOs want marketers to become 100% ROI focused, but less than 1 in 3 companies properly calculates ROI. So we've actually done quite a few studies around like what's the #1 challenge for marketers, and calculating ROI is nearly always at the top of the list. It's really, really challenging. But we've got to quantify and justify the marketing activities that we're doing. It's just, that's how it is in the digital world. Our leaders know that we have the data, and they want us to use the data to make decisions. We can't just go with gut feel anymore. And as I said earlier, we're being asked to contribute more and more to pipeline. So this is what we call the one view of the truth. So I don't know, depending on your company, maybe the sales funnel or the sales pipeline is considered a sales project. But now with Eloqua, you can actually have a sales and marketing funnel where you can see exactly how much pipeline marketing is contributing through being able to track all your leads. And you can also get to the point where you can start to say, if I had this much more money, I could create this many more MQLs, marketing qualified leads, and because of our model, it would give us exactly how much more revenue. If you can work with sales and figure out, know your conversion rates at each step of your funnel, and can start to have really intelligent conversations about, with this much investment, this is how much more sales we can get, that really helps sales feel like you're speaking their language and you're trying to contribute to the bottom line, not just sending out brochures and having people download white papers, but it's really finding that integration and those conversion points. Because we need to take those insights that we get from the reporting and turn them into action. Because we also, as marketers, want to know what's working and what's not working. We want to know where to invest our money. The fifth tenet of modern marketing is technology. And really, technology is the enabler of all of this. But the marketing technology landscape right now is pretty overwhelming. There are a lot of really amazing technologies out there to help marketers, more than there's ever been before. And there are also more channels. So not only are there a lot of technologies, you have to keep on top of it, know which ones are working, which ones are right for your company, and with digital, there's a lot more channels like social than we've ever had before. So of course it's hard to predict. It's hard to predict and know which technology is the next one you're going to need. But what you're going to want is an open platform that will allow you to integrate lots of other technologies into your marketing database so you can gather and have that complete profile of your customer. There's a recent study by Gartner, it's now become a very famous quote, that by 2017, the CMO will spend more money on IT than the CIO. So we're seeing a real convergence of marketing and technology. And again, as a marketer, we can't leave technology to the techies. We need to know what's working and what's not working. So this is kind of to wrap up. At Eloqua, we really see the customer as the center of everything. knowing who that customer is from the first tenet of targeting, through which channels they're using, your engagement with them, to getting them to the point to convert and be able to ready to talk to sales. You really need to have the customer at the center of everything that you do in marketing and all the channels that you communicate with them with. So truly know your customer. Very, very, very key and an old tenet of marketing. Always think about the channels. There's so many more channels now, and your customers could be anywhere communicating with you, giving you lots of buying signals across all of those channels, so you really need to bring them all together and use data to really drive your decisions and be accountable. Show accountability back to the sales and to the CEO. Very important. And what we're saying is you need to be a customer-obsessed marketer. So these are a few of our customers. We are also, our stand is right over there if you haven't already seen it. I invite you to come by, have a demonstration, ask any questions you might have. We're also doing a drawing. While you're there, you might as well be a part of the drawing. And thank you very much.